warning. But after that, Tim, if you're not listening to Ms. Armstrong, I'm going to have to take you to the thinking chair. And you're going to have to stay there for 3 minutes until I ask you to come back and join us. So Tim starts crying. I say, Tim, this is your first warning. I'm going to walk away and continue doing what I was doing, attending other children, whatever it is that you were doing. Give him a minute or so. Then go back. Tim, this is your second warning. If Tim is still not responding, again, give it a minute or two. And then come back, take his hand, walk him to the thinking chair. Do not engage in conversation. You don't need to say, Tim, I told you yesterday, or you don't need to give him the look or anything like that, because they know that you are upset. They know they have control over you instead of you having control of your classroom. So you're gonna walk him and you're gonna sit him down. Of course, this sounds perfect, and the reality is Tim is not gonna stay in that chair, is he? No. Tim is going to run around the classroom, screaming, kicking, pushing, throwing things around. So the first few days is going to be rough. It's going to be worse than it was at the beginning. What you have to do, though, you're going to have to walk and get him again. Don't run, don't call him, don't get upset. He's playing you, he's manipulating you. If you break at this point, he got you. Okay? So walk as many times as you need to do it. Sit him back 20, 30 times. But I promise you, if you do it, next time you're not going to chase him 20 times. You may chase him only 15. And the next day, maybe 10. And you'll come to the time that he'll just stay there. And the last thing about your consequences is very important too. Once he stays in the chair, I'm going to bend over and look at him in the eye, and I'm going to say, you weren't listening to Ms. Armstrong, and that's why I asked you to stay here for 3 minutes. I want you to apologize. And you're going to wait for that apology. If he's still crying, you're going to say, I see that you're not ready, so I'm going to give you another 2 more minutes. And you walk away. Until the crying is done and he's ready to apologize, then we'll have that conversation of why it was wrong what he did. You get your apology, and you go back to business. And you probably need, somebody to support you. Since you had that conversation with the co-teacher, it's thankfully not going to be all 20 of your kiddos that need that. So you're going to focus those few first days in attending that kiddo that needs to really work in that consequence. Because once those first 2 weeks are passed, you're going to get control of your classroom again, and you're not going to have to deal with Tim 20 times a day. It's not easy, but I promise you that it works. So it's very important that we work on these 3: your physical environment, rules and expectations, and your routines. And a little secret here, like I said before, demonstrate genuine interest for your kiddos, because they can sense that. Just like, for example, when your boss goes into your center, do you know if he likes you or she likes you? Can you sense that? If they say hello, do you feel like it's genuine or not? If we can sense that, kids can sense it too. To prevent the behavior from happening and have those behaviors that we want to see happen more often instead. So those are called reinforcements, things that we do to either make something happen more often or extinguish something, in this case a behavior. We want to focus on our positive reinforcements. These are the things that we do that will give us more positive behaviors in the classroom. So here's the golden rule for behavior. Make sure you say yes, do, and go. Tell kids what you want them to do, where you want them to be, how you want them to react, and avoid using no, stop, and don't. So I'm going to give you a 3-step solution that I want you to start implementing or thinking right away about the kids, about your children in the classroom. So the first thing I want you to do is observe, like we talked about. I already told you how to do it, the things that you need to pay attention to. You're going to plan and you're going to act. Observe, and once again, it's what are you doing? What is your co-teacher doing when that behavior is happening? Where is that behavior happening? Is it only when we are outside? Is it only during circle time? And also know your patterns. How often does it happen? Is it every day? Is it every time I ask him to do this? Is it every time mom brings him to school or dad brings him to school? When I ask you to plan, is to research. Look for books, look for magazines, Google it, talk to more experienced teachers that have been in the education field forever, your teacher